Hey everyone, Jason from Iron Fence Shop with a quick answer to a common question we get all the time. Today's question is, can I mount my fence to brick or masonry posts? Now you may be thinking, that's a weird question, aren't the metal posts part of the fence panel? In actuality, they're not. The posts are a completely separate part of the system independent from the fence panel. So if you didn't want to use the metal fence post, the fence can be mounted to a masonry post. You'll also hear brick, stone, concrete, and stucco posts often referred to as columns or pillars. Here are a couple project photo examples that show how the iron and aluminum fence looks with masonry columns and pillars. The look of metal fence and masonry work is a timeless one that goes back hundreds of years. It's an extremely high-end and clean look with materials that nicely complement each other. The best masonry column material options are flat and smooth ones like brick, concrete, and stucco. We have seen folks use more natural stone with a lumpy or irregular surface, but doing so may require grinding or smoothing the surface the fence bracket is going to attach to. When it comes to masonry columns, you'll notice they're often interspersed with metal posts in a lot of the photos. It can get costly to have a masonry column every 6 to 8 feet, and columns being closer together can obscure the fence when viewed from an angle. When mounting our stronghold iron fence to a masonry column, you're going to use the same bracket that you would to mount the fence to a steel post. So long as the surface is pretty flat and smooth, you can use the standard fence bracket and just go to the hardware store and supply a Tapcon screw. It's a little more different and costly with our Infinity aluminum fences. Normally, your aluminum fence will have a notch in the rail like this that fits inside this punch on the post and not use a bracket like the iron fence does. However, since we're mounting to a flat surface, you'll need to cut that notch off flush like this and then use a wall bracket made of aluminum to mount your aluminum fence to your masonry column or pillar. With those iron or aluminum brackets, you'll then go to the hardware store and get some masonry or Tapcon screws that fit our brackets. Be aware that masonry screws often require the use of a hammer drill to pre-drill the pilot hole into your masonry work. Using a standard drill will often be ineffective or take about 10 times as long. While masonry columns are a cool alternative to the metal posts, there are 3 things to keep in mind that often come with this type of installation. The first and biggest issue is that people tend to either already own or have already built the masonry columns and then gone fence and gate shopping. This almost always results in additional cost, custom work, and or waste. If you can have your specific fence and gates chosen before you build your masonry columns, that will help things fit more cleanly and avoid those issues. The second issue is the variety of masonry column construction. Unlike a metal or even wood post where we know the general specs and sizing, masonry column materials, construction, and sizes range all over the place. The best approach to connect a fence to a solid brick column may differ from a hollow masonry column with only a thin veneer of stone or stucco on the outside. Make sure you understand the construction of your columns before choosing to mount a fence or gate to it. The last issue is combining gates with masonry columns. Whereas you can cut and trim fence panels to make things fit, you can't do the same with gates. Gates also typically require more space than their stated size. So that 8-foot gate you want may need 9 to 10 feet clear between columns to fit when you factor in the posts, hinges, latch, and underground foundations. Speaking of hinges and latches, most of them do not play nice with masonry columns the way the fence brackets do. You may need to use metal posts in combination with the masonry columns to mount a gate. So there are some guidelines and notes on using masonry posts, columns, or pillars with your fence. Let that creativity flow and know that you can mount your stronghold iron and Infinity aluminum fence to masonry columns for your project. Just be sure to keep those installation considerations and gate restrictions in mind when doing so. If we can help with any other questions about installing your fence or gates against a masonry column, give us a call at 800-261-2729 or shoot us an email at sales@ironfenceshop.com. We look forward to helping you with your project.